Hi, welcome back to the Chinese Medicine Podcast. I'm Marie Hopkinson. I'm a Chinese medicine practitioner, and today I thought I would make a quick video about gallstones and Chinese medicine because I've had 2 questions on the channel about that so far. So I'm just going to answer these questions that people have had. So one question was from Natural High, and they said, what diet should we eat if we have gallstones? I need to dissolve the gallstones as flushing doesn't work. Flushing don't work. Flushing don't work. Flushing don't work no more. And then there's another one from, I'm sorry about the name, it's hard for me to pronounce this, Kaliku. I hope that's all right. I have fatty liver, gallstones and hypertension. Is this damp heat? I feel a bit confused. Some people say go low carb, no starches, but a little meat and half a plate of vegetables. Others say eat vegetarian and fruits like apples, pears, radishes to dissolve the gallstones and fatty liver. Which diet is the true one to dissolve the gallstones and the fatty liver? So today we're going to talk about gallstones and this question of, is it damp heat? What is it in Chinese medicine? So firstly, in Chinese medicine, it's really important with these kinds of things that if you do have a serious condition or you have a known condition, YouTube isn't the place to get like the proper medicine from. That's one thing for sure. Unfortunately, I can't feel your pulse through the internet, so we can't really understand exactly what's wrong with you in Chinese medicine, because that's the crux of the Chinese medicine diagnosis, particularly the style of Chinese medicine I practice. We have to kind of check your pulse to know what's wrong. So that's one thing to consider. So for these 2 people, if you haven't gone and seen a practitioner already, that's the first thing you need to do. So it's hard to get a diagnosis of what it is in Chinese medicine before you, just from me talking. But I can give you some information to get you more on the right track, I guess. And hopefully more about like maybe understand the diagnosis. So I can explain what damp heat is, but it's hard for me to say whether you have damp heat or not. So the other thing in Chinese medicine is the way we make a diagnosis is so you might have one disease, like let's say gallstones is the disease or the illness. There can be multiple patterns that patient could have with that illness. Now, it's not multiple as in any number of patterns, but there could be several patterns. So what we do is we look at the symptoms that disease or that illness causes, and some people are more prone to particular symptoms than others. So for some people, they get a lot of problems up in the epigastric area. So if I just sort of stand up here, you can kind of see under the ribs, this kind of area. So they sometimes get pain in the hypochondriac area, which is that under the ribs, or in the epigastric area, which is this area kind of here, right in the middle there. So sort of stand a bit back. So the hypochondrial area is kind of under the ribs and also to the shoulder. So some people can get pain in the back of their shoulder from gallstones. So pain can be a really common symptom, and the pain in Chinese medicine is a stagnation. It's a blockage of energy. There's no free flow there, so there's that blockage. And then the yang of your body is kind of rushing into that area to try to like alert you to that problem, and that's part of the situation with pain. So an acupuncturist would be able to help a lot with pain. If you are trying to manage gallstones, let's say, and you're trying to manage the treatment of that condition and you want to try to manage it naturally, that could be one thing to try as acupuncture to manage the pain of it. And alongside that, your acupuncturist will be able to give you an individualized approach of what else they can do for your particular exact situation. Now, as to what the cause of it is in Chinese medicine, that would depend on, like, sometimes it could be different because of people's different individual constitutions. Like, so some people have a tendency to just create dampness. So we talk a lot about dampness on this channel because there's a lot of people, I guess, that love the dampness videos. So what's the difference between damp and just plain old dampness, and damp heat, for instance, let's say? So something like damp heat is going to give you symptoms where, like, basically, so think about dampness as an accumulation where there's no free flow and there's no movement. So a good example would be a river that's got a bit of a blockage there. So some sticks and leaves have kind of blocked the river, and then next thing you know, there's like this yucky water there. Or if you've ever gone out, sometimes I go interstate for travel, right, or overseas, more when I just go interstate. I might leave a glass of water on the bench. Let's say you do that. Now, come back 4 days later, especially when it's hot in Perth, that water's going to be stinky and stagnant because no movement's happened to it. the water's now starting to brew bacteria and starting to get thicker. So the longer something's there, the more it congeals. So things evaporate, and then the thicker substances of that thing kind of tend to congeal. So over time, dampness can sort of get thicker and harder to get out, and then that substance that's there, that because it's gone from a thinner liquid to a thicker liquid, it heats up. What's there kind of gets thicker and stickier and heating up. And that's part of the situation with damp heat, is you've got this horrible, like sticky, thick kind of dampness that's hard to get out because of that heat that's there. So typically with the symptoms of damp heat, you have like the dampness symptoms of the cloudy headedness. You might have heaviness in your body. Let's say it was damp heat in the gallbladder as a symptom, or damp heat in the liver as a Chinese medicine syndrome, or pattern of disharmony. Then that person might have like that hypochondrial pain, so that pain around the ribs, or tightness there, or like because it's dampness, of like a heaviness there, or like a discomfort there. Generally with heat, it's similar to an inflammation situation. It's not one and the same, but it is very similar to that. So like if you have something that's infected or inflamed, you generally don't want it to be touched. Like if you touch on it, it hurts more. Like particularly if something's infected is probably a better example. So that it like the more heat that's there, the more difficult it becomes for someone to be touched on that area, because it's uncomfortable. It's the same as when you're in a hot environment, you just want to maybe take your clothes off, or you want to like cool down because you're uncomfortable with, you want to put more jackets on and things like that because you're uncomfortable with the heat. Like you want less touching you. So patients don't like to be touched in those areas where the heat is. That can be part of it as well. So often with this kind of pattern, that damp heat in TCM, they get this thick kind of greasy tongue coating, and it'll be very yellowy kind of tongue coating. So that's a really common thing with, so your tongue coating is the representation of your dirty dregs of digestion. So technically if there's no dirty dregs, you wouldn't have a thick tongue coating. And what does TCM mean when they talk about a greasy tongue coating? It means like, it looks greasy. It looks like a buttery sort of thing. Like, so just like as if someone's put butter on the tongue. That yellowy sort of thick tongue coating would be a thick, yellow, greasy tongue coating. That'd be representative of damp heat. And there'll be other signs and symptoms in your body, particularly your pulse will show things where there's heat happening, and in your pulse we can actually feel exactly where that heat is, because we can feel like between the three, I don't know if you can see this, like the three different positions on your pulse, like that's the upper jowl, the middle jowl, the lower jowl, so the upper part of your body, the middle part and the lower part. Like, this is a very rough idea of it, but that's technically what we're feeling. So on different sides of your body, there's different, like your different organs. So your liver is on this side, and your stomach and like the spleen, your earth element, is on the right side. And so like just in that middle position of that pulse, we could feel where that, if there was some heat there, we could feel where that heat is. So one thing to think of is with damp heat is like, well, where there's no free flow and there's accumulation of dampness, then heat can often transform from that or transpire from that because there's just not enough movement. And so that stagnancy often causes a strong smell to happen to things. So it's a bit gross to talk about this, but like your body fluids tend to heat up. So people's sweat starts to smell a bit grosser, starts to smell a bit more stronger. People's breath can smell really strong. So one of the symptoms with gallstones can be indigestion, and so acidic regurgitation, reflux, that kind of stuff. Now in a TCM pattern, we're more thinking that's probably more a stomach pattern. So like in an overall sense, it might be wood invading earth, which is the wood element, like your liver and gallbladder organs, or that network of that functional aspect of your body of movement and free flow, that's not happening, and so there's stagnancy there, and so the wood can't control the earth. And then the earth kind of like, the stomach energy goes up, and that will give you reflux, belching, like burping, and that can acidic regurgitation. And that can have the more heat that's in the situation, the more stronger the smell is. So the person's breath might get really smelly, or they might feel that their body fluids get more and more smelly. So if there's heat, if there's damp heat, now this isn't the gallstone situation, but let's say as an example, if there's damp heat in the lower jowl, which is your through your intestines and below, then you might have like heated up urine would make you have a stronger smelling urine. Heated up bowel movements would make you have a more toxic smelling poops, or like your bowels would smell more strong. So that's the way to think about what's heat. Heat always causes strong smells in your body, and because the fluids that are there are kind of accumulating and getting stronger, and so whatever was there, that's getting stronger and stronger because it's condensing and accumulating, and so that is part of the mechanism that causes the heat. So I hope this video has been helpful and useful to you. So I can't answer every single part of these questions because part of it is really getting to that Chinese medicine diagnosis. So I'll probably make a part 2 about this, or there'll be some other follow-ups about this video. But for those people that have those serious conditions, so if you have hypertension, like you have high blood pressure, make sure you go and see your GP or your Western medicine doctor, and alongside that seeing your Chinese medicine practitioner, or both of those things. Sometimes when you go to a Chinese medicine practitioner, if you haven't seen a Western medicine doctor for a while, they will advise you to kind of do that, so you can keep those things you can have be monitored by those things. So I know a lot of people watching these videos, they just want the self-help stuff. And hopefully you are already seeing a practitioner. If you need a referral to someone, and if you're in Perth, you can come and see me. But if you need a referral to someone closer to you in your local area, I'm happy to do that. So you can just send me an email. I usually put the links to the emails to my email, or the way to contact me is in the description box below on YouTube, or you can contact me through the messenger situation of wherever you're seeing this video, social media, that kind of stuff. So I hope that you're doing well and having a good day, week, month, whatever's happening in your life. And for those people that sent those questions in, thanks very much. I really like answering people's questions. So we will go through a bit more about the diet for that stuff, but the diet particularly is more based around what your diagnosis is. So if you have damp heat or you don't have damp heat. So this person's question is, I have fatty liver, gallstones and hypertension. Is this damp heat? So the answer is no. Those symptoms are not enough to give you the diagnosis of damp heat. So hopefully I've explained what damp heat is. And so within Chinese medicine, there can be lots of patterns for one disease. So you've got let's say three diseases: fatty liver, gallstones and hypertension there. So you could have a multiple diagnosis in Chinese medicine, or one thing that could encompass all those things. So it really depends on your pulse and your tongue for that stuff. It depends on your symptoms that you have, so what kind of pain you have. So if you have just achy, dull pain versus sharp stabbing pain versus burning pain, they all mean different things in Chinese medicine. So one means heat, one means qi stagnation or dampness, and the other one means blood stagnation or blood stasis. So there can be very big differences in the kind of so in Western medicine they just think, right, you have pain, whereas in Chinese medicine you could have a dull ache, which is the qi stagnation or the energy stagnation. You could have a sharp stabbing pain, which is blood stasis kind of pain. You have a burning pain, like a hot poker kind of poking at you. That's very common in stomach and gallbladder kind of issues, like in your actual physical organs. Like if you had gastritis or you had a stomach ulcer or something like that, then you might have sharp stabbing, burning kind of pain, like a boring hole sort of poking at you in one particular spot. And because you've got something wrong with your intestine, like the wall of your stomach is a kind of inflamed and maybe ulcerated or something like that. And then you have things like dampness causing just a heaviness, so it's like a blockage and it feels uncomfortable, but it's not a sharp stabbing pain. So these things can all be encompassed in the one thing of what Western medicine calls pain, whereas Chinese medicine has so many differentiations of that. So that's the beauty of seeing a Chinese medicine practitioner. And I hope that the people that have messaged me here or have left their comments here are in the care of a practitioner that can help them. So if people are interested in seeing someone in the system that I practice, then you can send me an email and I'll look for someone who's nearby you, because there's about 400 practitioners around the world that do the system that I do, and that's very effective in terms of checking your pulse and working out the herbs that you're going to be taking based on based on that, and that's one particular style of Chinese medicine. Now there's lots of different styles of Chinese medicine, and there's lots of things that are also just as effective or good styles to use. If you can look up a practitioner that's local to you, that's a good thing to do. The benefit of Chinese medicine and the beauty of Chinese medicine, that special thing, is that individualized approach. So the purpose of this channel is to help people get information to help you make better choices in your healthcare, but we can't give you a diagnosis through the internet, and we can't give you that individualized advice because we just don't know what pattern, like it's impossible almost to know what pattern you would have without checking your pulse. So I hope that you're having a good day and week, and thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you again in the next video.